Hello everybody and welcome. My name is Brooke and you are at the Pink Frog. Today I'm going to be doing a pattern review. The pattern review that I'm going to be doing today is the B5708, which is 1953, and it's the middle gal right here. She's the one that I'm going to be doing today. Now, the reason why I'm doing a pattern review on this is because a lot of people, when I went online, were having problems with fitting with the bodice. And when I first tried the dress on, I just tried on the bodice and I was like, okay, I was having problems as well. And that's simply because of the fact the way it's tied and the way I thought the front was the back and the back was the front. If you look at the pattern, which I'm going to bring it in for extreme close-up, you can see that the bows are tied on her. Sorry, that's my elbow. The bows are tied on her on the front, the very front. So the bows on this are tied towards the front, and that's the biggest problem that I was having problems with, and I think other people are too, because they're having a lot of gaping issues in here. And I'm not having problems with gape because the back has more fabric on this pattern than the front. Therefore, you pull the back forward and tie these really tight, as I punched myself in the face. Let me reverse and step up, and you can see I belted this because I literally just finished this. It's not been pressed. It's not even, it's just literally been finished. And I'm just gonna let you see that the back. Ties. But there's so much fabric in the back. I don't know if you can see this because I'm just going to kind of turn around. There's no problem. I can lean forward. You can't see down my blouse. I'm going to stand up on the chair so you can see. It's not been hemmed either, but I'm going to give you a quick twirl. It's a full skirt. It's a gathered skirt. Hello. The top, though, has to be tied forward. So, it's hard to do this yourself, too. When you tie it, you have to tie it towards the front, not towards the back, not high on the shoulder, but towards the front so that it pulls all the fabric forward. That was the issue that I was having, because the first time that I tried it on the back, I put the back to the front, and it looked absolutely ridiculous. I'm like, why isn't this working? I'm like, great, I failed. I have to really try to figure this out. So I didn't dare attach the skirt to it until I figured out what the bodice problems were. So as soon as I'm like, maybe the back is the front. And then I tried it again. I turned it around and I was like, okay, the back is the front. So I turned it around and I made the front, the back, the back. And then I tied it on high, and there was all this gaping in the front. It was like you could see straight down, and there was gaping, and the back looked funny. And I was like, okay, and I was sitting in the mirror, and I was trying all these different ways to tie the ties. Excuse me. So then I'm like, all right, refer to the picture, because it doesn't tell you how to tie it. And I noticed that in the front, her ties for her top up here are tied to the front, not to the back, not off the shoulder, but to the front. And on this side, it's hard to see, but on this side you can see that the back of her dress is pulled taut on her back. So that makes all the difference in the world on this dress. So I'm going to show you what it looks like without a belt. I belt it because I didn't want to put a zipper in. And I don't have a little tiny waspy waist. It should be like that. But I really did not want to put in a zipper. If I don't have to put a zipper in something, all the better. So instead of adding a zipper, I just was like, I've got so many belts I can belt it. Ow, that's my foot. So this is the back. And I mean, I can move around and not worry about, if I wanted to move and put a picnic basket over here, I wouldn't have to be like, oh, my front, because it's tied properly. So if anybody's having problems out there, and my My little V is, my pattern matching isn't right. But if anybody else is having problems out there, I recommend that you make sure that you're not tying it, you're not mixing up the front and the back and the back and the front, because I did. Also, I would try tying it real tight in the front. I mean, literally, I was like trying it all different ways to make sure that it fit properly. And once it did, I was like, oh, this makes sense. And it worked out really well. I love this pattern. I lined this. Let me just show you. It's without showing you. There's my lining. So the lining is red because I wasn't really sure on the handkerchief top. On the handkerchief top, if I can come in here, it's a V. So in the lining is red and the sides are patterns on the inside. It's kind of hard to explain, but I could take the dress off, but I think I would get arrested. But the lining on this is fine. The straps are fine. Everything on it works out well. You just have to play with the ties and find out where it works right for you. But I guarantee you that if you tie it tight in the front, you won't have problems with the gaping. So when you're tying your sashes under the front, tie them tightly to the front. And that way you will not have the gaping here. This dress needs a lot of stress on it to make sure that things stay in place, like in the back. So you've got to make sure that your front straps are tied really nice and tight. Other than that, I had no problems with this. It's a gathered waist on the skirt, very full. The skirt is like 1,000,000 feet wide when you first have it, so you have to sit there and put a lot of loose bobbin thread through there and then pull it and shear it just like you would for curtains or anything. But it's really simple to put together. Just take your time, and I wouldn't recommend putting the dress together until you figure out your bodice issues. But other than that, this is a great dress. And it's gotten a bad reputation on the internet. A lot of people are saying it's a difficult pattern. And I'm somebody who, trust me, I have no patience for this sort of thing. I'll be like climbing the roof. I do not have patience for this. So I seriously recommend this pattern. I like this pattern. It worked for me. And if people are out there having problems, play around with it. Don't get frustrated. Play around with it. Really, see what's going on. See where your fit issues are, if you're broader in the shoulders. But give it a shot. Try pulling it forward and see what happens. That's just my review on it. But if anybody else wants to make this dress or give it a try, I highly recommend it. I give it a big thumbs up. And that's the Butterick B5708. And I'll just keep a close up of the fabric. It says eat with mom or something. This is like the picnic dress that I love. And then I just belted it because I do not want a zipper. No zippers for Brooke. And although this is kind of patent leathery, the zipper, eventually I think I'll put in a zipper. But there you go. It works fine. All right. So stay tuned, because as soon as I'm done with this, I'm going to do a huge fabric haul. So grab a cup of tea, grab a cup of coffee, and stay tuned for my fabric haul. Have a great day.